4 dynamic hosts who will bring you topics worth staying up for. So we just ask you to stay woke. Good evening.
Hey, this your girl.
Hey, that was different. Good evening, everybody. I want to just thank you for once again joining Uncle Sean and the Conscious Party this week as we venture down some more roads of entrepreneurship and enlightenment. You got me? Okay. Tonight we are honored to have 2 separate guests, both in the field of entertainment, arts and entertainment. Let's put it that way. And what we want to talk about, or how we want to start tonight's show off, is the fact that if you Hey,
Turn up.
turn up.
Turn up.
Well, let me just go around the table first and let y'all know who's here. Because from the background, you already hear it's Dap's World tonight. Dap, say something to us.
Yo, what's up, world? This is Dap Paxton in the house. I know I wasn't here last week. I really missed y'all, but we had to do some celebrating because it was my 3rd wedding anniversary. 3 years turned up. And to celebrate, we just brought some wine. I brought the good stuff. So that was the cork popping in the background, if you heard that. Glad to be back.
I told you it's Dap's World. So if y'all want to say something to Dap or hit him up on Instagram, your IG?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can follow me. On Instagram, you can follow me at Dap's World, and on Facebook, Dap Paxton.
All right. And the lovely Miss Autumn Monroe.
How y'all doing? It's your girl, Autumn Monroe. That's on Facebook and Instagram. It's MISSAUTUMNMONROE. And on Twitter, it's Autumn Monroe. AUTUMNMONROE. Oh, and she got a Snapchat page. Oh, I know, right? It's the Autumn Monroe. THEAUTUMNMONROE. Yay! And look who just got here, Joy Leah.
Joy, give us a shout out in your social
At
media.
Joy Leah on Instagram, on Snapchat, and on Facebook. Holla at your girl.
Oh no, wait a minute, that was her tagline.
I just walked in the door.
So, I understand. But anyway, and as I said, we are joined tonight by 2 dynamic artists. We're gonna get into each individual interview, but I want them first to start off just by letting you know who they are and what their social media are. And then we'll come back, wrap around, and find out more about their individual businesses. Ladies first.
Hey, y'all. This is Sherdon, CEO of She Prints It. And you can follow us on Instagram at sheprints.it and on Facebook and Twitter at She Prints It. That simple.
I love the way she said that. That was CEO, not the CEO, the CEO. Women take over. Go ahead, Javaris.
How you doing? This is Javaris Franklin. I'm the CEO of Visionary Artistry. My Instagram is Visionary Artistry LLC, and then we have a nonprofit organization, which is VA Foundation. That's also on Instagram as well.
Wonderful. Well, once again, I want to thank you both for joining us this evening. You're about to see some silly antics because this, although we are conscious, not everybody is stable at the same time. But we're going to jump right into it because we have a she-EO and a he-EO right here at the table. And and I consider them both to be heroes simply because you are entrepreneurs in a time that it is definitely a time that we have to stretch out and prove ourselves and do more based on our own knowledge of self, what we can do for each other, and creating more businesses that come not only from our communities but support our communities as well. So starting with She Prints It, I'm going to hand over the mic, and I just want to know, first of all, how long you've been in business, what your business target or the goal is, and tell us a little bit more about She Prints and everything it does.
Absolutely. So I have actually been in the world of custom apparel printing for almost 6 years now. But She Prints It itself was birthed this year in February, the same month that I was born. So it was necessary that I release it that month. And the reason that Aquarius.
All right, we get along.
All right, you better know. And so, as I said, I've been in this industry for years, and the reason that I decided to relaunch, or I should say start a new company under She Prints It, because it was important to me that I stood in my truth. I thought that so many times they tell us as women that we can't self-identify, that we can't cater to our own audience, that we can't empower one another. So I wanted to create a brand that could accommodate the needs of all, but be very clear that I'm a she before anything, that women are powerful and that I can do all within my power. So that's essentially how She Prints It began. We are a custom apparel printing company, as I stated. She actually stands for silkscreen, heat transfer, and embroidery, which are the print methods that we offer. But we're much more than that. I've also founded a t-shirt club called shewear.club, and every month all of our subscribers get a t-shirt of affirmation to empower and uplift women. So it's just all about empowering, love, watching each other win. I believe so much so that there's plenty of room at the top so we all can win together.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
know
up,
you have
man.
questions. I know somebody's gonna fire.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna fire off all my questions after, because
Okay.
I want to make sure Javari has got in, because you will be asking questions like all
All
night.
right.
Well, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Like, where do you print? Like, where do you do all this at? Like,
That
do you
is
have a factory? Or?
No, I do it in my basement.
Really?
Just as most startup companies, and I am considering getting a retail space or just a warehouse, but it's more so that I can give opportunity to others, not necessarily for me. It works just fine doing production out of my basement, but in order to offer employment opportunities on the production side, and specifically because I want to provide opportunity to those that the world has told that there's no more chance for you, that you've made one mistake in life and that has marked you forever. I want to make sure that I can give them an opportunity to get on their feet, but not just get on their feet, be in position and around people who want something more in life, because I don't want anybody to work for me forever. I just want a whole bunch of stories of all these amazing CEOs and authors and just great people who once crossed the path of She Prints It.
Cool.
Yes,
Very well
empowerment.
said.
Yeah,
Yes.
Very
that's
well
what's
said.
up.
Look, now she's made it extremely hard to follow up behind that. I'm just letting you know. She Prints and the CEO, and I mean, come on now. So,
No, it's no pressure, brother.
no pressure
No pressure.
to follow a queen. Okay, but please let us know more. Start with your social media. Let us know exactly what you're doing, how you got to the point you are now, and where we're going next.
Okay, well, Visionary Artistry LLC is the Instagram. We also have VA Foundation, which is a nonprofit that's also on Instagram. We started, myself and my sister Jaya started Visionary Artistry maybe 7 years ago. It started off as an online magazine that is still going on today. And from that point, we went from a magazine that was online to a printed magazine. Demetrius hands right here.
She is good for that.
But it started off, it went from a printed magazine. We started doing that maybe 3 years ago. And then we went and started a nonprofit, as well as, we started the nonprofit. We also have started a carrier service as well.
Okay.
The whole concept behind Visionary Artistry is to build a brand. It's as simple as that. It started off, I'm gonna be honest, through frustration. I'm a visual artist, and I was trying to figure out a way to get my work out. And I would go to galleries and show them my artwork or whatever, and they would say, give suggestions like, hey, well, you think you can paint this, or do you have a name behind you, or whatever the case may be. So instead of I guess going that route, I was like, you know what, I create my own.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what I started doing. So we created this magazine as a platform for local artists as well as well-named artists, and we put them on the same platform. So from this online magazine, we've been able to create internships for local college students, and they've been able to go on and get jobs with like Fortune 500 companies through our recommendations. So that's just from the online magazine. With the foundation, the nonprofit, the whole concept behind that is really developing inter-school programs for seniors and as well as kids. Adult coloring is one of the classes that we offer. Okay. So that's for seniors. So we'll go to the senior homes, and it's we do adult coloring with them as well. So it's a very good concept. We've got good feedback from that also.
I imagine so.
And then we also started a T-shirt line as well, and it's just Visionary Artistry, but it's really catered toward visual artists, and just putting that out. I have like marketing concepts behind everything that we do. Period. Okay. So everything like basically piggybacks off everything else. So.
Right. As it should. Good man. I mean, we're hearing from two dynamic speakers tonight who have decided to chart their own paths, and that's exactly what we're doing. They've both kind of echoed the same sentiment in the fact that they want to help others to achieve. They both serve as a catalyst to get others to propel themselves into the careers that they want through their entrepreneurial efforts that need to be applauded and recognized. And that's why we're here. We're trying to make you a little more conscious, a little more aware of what's going on, and bring a platform to you where you can meet people who are in the industry doing the things that you want to do and realize your dreams are really not that far. They're just one person away. So if we can get you to meet these people through social media, if we can get you to meet these people through the airwaves, then we want you to do that. You got a phone number for them to call or social media for them to hit up? Please, and then we're going to go to a quick break.
Yes, please call in, folks. We want to hear your opinions, and we want y'all to just be able to ask questions. So hit us up, 678-688-IBNX. That's 678-688-4269.
Or you can hit us up on Instagram, Conscious Party.
Yeah, Instagram. You can make some comments on Facebook Live, because we live.
Pray for him on the break. But right now, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
It's a beautiful magazine, man. This is really nicely laid out.
You never thought I'd make you smile while I'm slapping your ass and fucking your own wild. So red, who cares?
No, it's actually right on the thing.
Oh, yeah. I shot my short film. I shot my short film with some guy. Yeah, beautiful. Man, this is lovely.
It's only a sunshine. We've been through worse weather like stormy night. You wrote a dear job letter and took my bins and keyed and cut the leather. Bitch, you know better. Right. I got 2 and 3 hoes for every V, and I keep you drugged up off that ecstasy. I'm a playground legend like Kirk the B. In the league, got more game than me. I play hard, so many women I fall. Meet them with scars and send home hot. Straight to dead, this life ain't apparently fair. Ain't a love with no glare is a Christmas stare. But we share something so rare, but who cares? You can, amen.
Right. saying that I'm at a certain place where which you have to offer I can benefit from, but in that same respect, there's someone that can benefit from what I have to offer. And so it's just, I think it's definitely something that can be done. It can be a mentor and a mentee in the same breath. But it is an awkward space.
It's an awkward space to be in, but I think it's good mentor to do that. So like whereas like you in the game 6 years plus, you know, there's somebody who's been in for 16, you know, or 30 years, and so they have, you know, their life years, you know, they've seen changes.
Right, the evolution of the industry.
Exactly, you know. So of course it's things that, you know, that you can glean from there, you know, whereas there's somebody who's just starting out, who may not even have started yet.
Absolutely.
Who needs your message.
Yeah.
You know, they need to see where you are at year 6. And that's way more attainable mentally, you know, than that 30-year mark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a weird space to be in, to be that person, that's the mentee mentor.
Yeah, it is.
I know like I have to ask myself like, am I really equipped to mentor?
Right. No, I totally understand that because, you know, I'm all about sharing. Like, as I learn, I am so eager to give it back. Like, oh my God, let me see that's what I learned. Like, let me, you know, put that back into the universe because again, like I said, I don't believe that there's a limited amount of space at the time.
Right.
I think we all can be great. It's like we can fill that top up, you know, if we wanted to.
There is no fill up.
Right. There's plenty of space. There's an abundance.
Right.
There's an abundance. If there's a 1%, there's a problem, y'all. But there's clearly plenty of space.
Right.
And so I just want to share. And so I think the benefits of being a mentor and a mentee is that as you are taking in that information, then you can trickle it down because you're going to be able to give them a greater head start than even you had.
Yeah.
I thought you was just being real cool.
Yeah.
No, it's a random person.
You don't move?
So you have a nonprofit, right? You have a nonprofit? What's the, I missed that part. So what do you feel like?
Yeah, we play all programs.
Oh, I tell you about the recording.
Okay, we're on our over 85 Top 43 laps. They're gonna let you in next week.
It came, bro.
It came out of the pack like this.
Okay, you know what I see on the like 4 days off. I ain't even worked out.
name the show because we actually found out more about the men than you know because you're real men. So they may have some big actions, you know, I was nervous when I come in here. I was like, see, I think one little bit of professionalism I okay, we're about to go back on. Remember to mention it.
All right, everyone. Thank you once again for taking that break with Uncle Sean and the Conscious Party. That one's off. Thank you for taking that break. I don't know what's going on. Hello, test.
It's this speaker.
Is that one?
It's that speaker in general.
But that
I think,
speaker is
because
off.
it's messing everything up.
This one's off.
It's off, completely off.
We're having a little technical difficulties
Oh,
here.
yeah, mine's.
It's that plate in my head, y'all. I told my mom it was going to leave a mark. But anyway, she came with me. I know that's what she say every time. I love me some MISS. Anyway, again, thank you for taking a break and coming back and joining the Conscious Party. This is Uncle Sean, and I just want you all to know that we are sitting here with two dynamic entrepreneurs who are going to open up a little bit more, let us know a little bit more about their business and the pain spots about your business and how you got over those. Because there are people out there listening who are themselves trying to be entrepreneurs, and it sounds like you have figured out how to get over that hurdle and create a business that flourishes. And I mean, my first meeting with She Prince was at one of our events. Now, I wasn't happy with the event, but I understand she walked away with with more customers.
She was making it rain.
Right. As a matter of fact, the very next airing of the show, I was surrounded by your shirts because the young ladies here had all purchased your shirts.
I forgot, I should have worn my melon shirt.
Oh, the call? We have a call? Oh, okay. Let's take the call.
Caller.
It's coming. I ain't no call.
This is the first caller ever. We got to give you a prize.
I know, right?
You would have exclusive access to Dax Taco Meat. Yes. Exclusive. We gotta have exclusive access to
Unless they're crazy. If they're crazy, then you're like, no taco meat.
Taco Meat for you.
I think the taco meat got back over here. We're going to reclaim our time. I'll come in there. Okay.
Give me the number again, just in case.
Just in case, it's 678-688. IBNX, that's 678-688-4269 if you want to be on the air and ask your questions tonight. Anyway, so I was getting to the point that we have two entrepreneurs, one with a foundation and multiple projects going on. I was going to ask not to be racist or anything, like you should make it. But typical. That's it. Oh yeah, you just black.
Culturally diverse.
I'm listening. Go ahead. And not at all. What we're going to ask our callers to do is go on our social media, type in your questions as well. Just in case we can't get your voice on the airwaves, we'll at least take your questions through our Conscious Party web.
Y'all get the phone. And look, get the phone. We going back old school. Get the phone.
While we waiting on that caller, while we waiting on that caller, I do have some questions though.
Okay, go ahead.
So okay, all right. So you guys are entrepreneurs. Where we plugging in? Okay. All right. So since you are entrepreneurs, and we all have ideal clientele. So I just want to ask you guys, what's your ideal client?
Hello.
Oh wait, I think you got the caller. No.
And your question? What has been the what?
The most rewarding thing?
The most rewarding thing?
Rewarding thing that you have experienced as an entrepreneur since you started your company.
Oh, that's
She
for me.
great. Yeah.
That's what she does.
Miss, she great.
See, that's all y'all have to do is to get a call is to put me on the show.
There we go. You gotta come back every week.
You know, she great. You gotta bring back a t-shirt.
And I don't know your name, man, but you have exclusive access to that access taco.
Just because you call her she great.
Yes.
Yeah, she said it's in the question.
Yes. So the most rewarding thing, okay, I think the question was what's the most rewarding thing?
To start your own business and be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think the most rewarding thing has being able to have that quality time with my family. It's so unfortunate in the workspace because I've been in corporate America before. And it's unfortunate when the kids have a after school event or there's a last minute doctor's appointment or what have you, and I have to ask permission to be a mom. And like, that's ridiculous to me. And I understand that that's the way of the world and we gotta eat and we gotta make this money. And I understand all of that, but you know, for somebody to tell me that, you know, once a woman just gave life, she had 6 weeks to get it together, you know? So for me, the most rewarding piece has making, I don't want to say making my own schedule because my customers still make my schedule, okay? And I love y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me a schedule. But I can take out that time to be a mom first, to be a wife first, you know? And because all that I do for them. I do for my family. So that's definitely, hands down, the most rewarding.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And we want to thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you for calling. And you know what? I mean, you said something, that's the way in the world. And like my purpose, I feel like my purpose in life now is to rewrite our, you know, our present and our future. Like, that doesn't have to be the way of the world, you know, that's just the way we've been programmed to accept the world as being. But yeah, we got the power to change whatever. Just like you had the power to start your business and become an entrepreneur, and now you're creating your own schedule. We all have the capacity to do the same thing. So, and thank you for being a shining example of that. Appreciate that. So I had a question too for both of you guys, and I'm just gonna bring it back. Ideal client. Now, I was in the print business for a long time, and I got out. It was the reason why I got out. You know, and even being an artist. I'm not a visual artist, but I'm very much an artist. Actually, I am a visual artist, but not in the same capacity. So even with you, you know, wanting to sell your work and being motivated to the point where you have to create your own outlets, you know, what is your ideal client? Like, what kind of person are you looking for? You know, how can we be better clientele to you guys?
Good question.
Go ahead, brother.
Train people.
I would say refer you to, you know, if they're happy with the work, they refer you to, you know, other clients as well, you know, to get your work pushed out there even more. You know, definitely paying on time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because, yeah. I love customers that pay on time. Yeah.
Hey, Jabbar is like, pay up, homie. Pay your fella.
Just customers that, you know, if they're happy with the work, they're gonna refer you to other customers, and you know, it's like a chain reaction. And a lot of times you can, you know, do partnerships as well, because you know they may, you know, sometimes you do barter. You know, they may have something that, you know, that you can use, and you know, you work off each other as well. So I like working with other entrepreneurs too.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Bartering, man. I don't think that's ever worked out in my favor.
Really?
Bartering. I don't think it's. I mean, not saying that it doesn't work, because I think it does work. But usually, when people want to barter, the people who do want to barter, they don't have an equal exchange of goods and services. Yeah, it has to be equal or greater value.
I'm giving you my good stuff.
Right. So I'm like, yo, so to train people to be better clientele, like if you gonna barter, then have some good shit to exchange. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Bring something to the table.
Bring something to the table, yeah.
I dig it. I guess for me it's kind of like a two-part answer because there's my target audience. And so, like I said before, my target audience is women in business and also community organizations, because I grew up in an inner city project in Chicago, and community organizations absolutely. From the suburbs. Okay, girl, I'm straight up from the projects, Cabrini Green. Project is in the building, very much so proud of that. Yes.
To kick it over there.
Yeah, that's real life. Okay, that's real life. So, because of that, community organizations literally was a part of saving my life and developing who I am today. So that's my target. Like, I want to be able to always have something that affords them the opportunity to work with me in an affordable capacity. So we get 5% off on all orders placed by women-owned businesses and community organizations all the time. The ideal customer, for me, is just, it seems like what is the most challenging is written referrals. So I think that it would be ideal if my customers would write reviews and referrals. It's so easy for us just collectively as people. There's just something that burns in your brain when something goes wrong. And you don't forget that, and you'll tell the world about it. But you have an amazing experience, and then I follow that up with, can you take a second to write a review? And it's just like the other side of the phone is dead. I'm like, did I dial that wrong? And so that would be awesome, and I just wish that consumers understood that a little bit more from the entrepreneurial side, how vital that is to our success and our business, and especially in small business, and to be even more specific, particularly in Black business, because there's this bad reputation that we have as Black business owners, right? We come out the gate trying to fight against that. We have customers that come in and they automatically are looking for us to do something wrong, and they don't want to give us a second chance. And I'm amazed by the example I give all the time is that I have stood in Walmart and heard you complaining about every time you're in Walmart that you hate your experience. That means that you hate it and you keep coming back. But if I just have it's the line, it's everything. It's everything except the price. Okay, that's the only thing that keeps you. But the experience is awful. But if you have a bad experience, for some, you have a bad experience with Black-owned businesses, and you like, that's it. You know, I've seen way too many posts on social media that are like, that's why I don't do business with Black folks. And I was like, well, but you don't say that about white folks, because all the big businesses that give you crappy customer service are white-owned businesses.
That's a mentality, though.
It is.
Because it's a trade mentality, and it's also that crab barrel mentality, to where it's like, oh, one Black person do me wrong, I'm done with Black business. That's wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because me personally, one of the best places I love to go to is Harold's Chicken.
Oh, you better.
Right, this sounds like a commercial straight up. No, that was a commercial.
I take both right now. Right now, in living in Atlanta, I take Harold's Atlanta with extra mild sauce. If y'all gonna bring it here, extra mild sauce, no coleslaw. Right. I'll take the extra one.
Look, we just gave a plug. Harold's need to pay.
So I purchased a couple of your shirts. Glad that I don't have my other shirt. I had to repeat this one. But I know, right? Yes. But my question is, and I do review. I do share and post, repost, and tweet and all of that. But where would I go to do a review for you?
That is a wonderful question, Queen. The first place would be on our Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/ShePrintsIt, you can do reviews there. We're going to set up a Yelp account as well, so that we can increase visibility on a local level, because we're a global e-commerce. We have several customers all over the U.S., even abroad, fortunately. But we're definitely trying to build our local presence, so we'll have a Yelp But at the present moment, please, Queen, go to facebook.com/She Prints It and review a sister.
We got you.
Yeah.
And you know my sister like you. We like you. Them pretty girls like you.
Oh, okay then. I like those pretty girls. Okay. All the girls in the world. Okay.
The ugly ones too.
And the ugly ones. That's a good old dirty bastard quote
Now, Javaris has been very quiet over there, but I want to know more about
Your foundation, because I know that is a step that many of us fail to take. I know it's a hard step to take. So tell us about your 501(c), your foundation, and what it means for you to give back through that foundation.
The foundation was very important to me because coming up in public schools, art really saved my life. I really feel like that because it was my outlet. Anything that went wrong or whatever, I always, went back to it. You know what I mean? So I would always, be that quiet kid in the corner drawing, whatever the case may be. So I just kind of took that and just, created other things, other avenues with it as well. As far as the nonprofit, I feel like it opened doors up for other kids, and especially nowadays when they're cutting like art programs and programs in schools anyway. You know what I mean? So it's another way for kids to express themselves and stuff like that. I also feel like kids these days, like we pay so much attention. Like this phone is everything. You know what I mean? So, I see 2 and 3 year old kids when I'm in line with cell phones and, parents are giving it to them because as long as it keeps them quiet, you know what I mean? So, like, the creativity is definitely dying, you know what I'm saying? So that was a major part of developing that foundation. And just, yeah.
And how do you give back to the foundation? What exactly is the foundation based around?
It's just different inner city. Well, we try to go to like nursing homes and things like that, and work with seniors. That's the major part of it for right now. That's
providing that type of stimulus for.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And they I mean, it's amazing how like things that we did as kids.
Right.
We go back to.
Because
it's like the first time I did it. I did it at the senior home. It was probably like maybe 10 participants, and I put this coloring sheet in front of them. You know what I mean? And they're looking around. Everybody's looking. It took them maybe about 5 minutes, and everybody just started coloring.
Right.
I mean, you're talking like seniors, and they're just singing,
just
just laughing, and it's amazing how like life is really simple. You know what I mean? We make it complicated. You know what I mean? So I find a lot of joy in seeing that. So yeah.
Good.
So I have
Go ahead. Okay. Get ready.
First of all, I want to give a shout out because my shoes so I have on She Print shirt, but I also have on my shoes that he did for me.
Oh, wow.
So he also does shoes. Yes, he does, honey. He does.
Yes.
And they're comfortable and they're cute. But I want to say that Javaris is also a product of a historically black college and university. He went to Tuskegee, University. And as someone who went to a historically black college, and I want to say, can you speak on your experience there? Because you are successful now and you're a product of an HBCU, and people tend to sleep on our historically black colleges and universities. I don't tend to sleep on it.
I definitely, the experience is unmatched. Just the fellowship alone, the people I've met, I met while I was there. Yes, yeah. And, really, those are like, not even friends, it's family. You know what I mean? Like you go home with these people during the vacations and things like that. And
especially during when you was in school.
Exactly, and I'm from, being from Indianapolis and just coming,
And coats.
Yeah, you know, and just being so far away from home, you know what I'm saying? So you know, started, becoming, adopting families and things like that. But the experience was great. I learned a lot just about, myself as a black man and just, history in general. Our history in general. So yeah.
I have a question. When you have an artistic child,
Artistic
or a child that likes to color, draw, colors in the lines real good, how do you, manifest that? Help a child out that's like that? Because I see kids that's like that all the time.
Encourage it. You know what I mean? Give it, just like a plant, you would give a plant water, encourage them, you know what I mean? And encourage them to be different, you know what I mean? And just, it's okay, if you're awkward or whatever the case may be, embrace that, So, yeah, anytime you're seeing a kid and, they, like I have my nephew, he really loves, he's into science and, the stars and, things like that, and he loves boxing, so, we, try to, push that, if he's interested in it, just, encourage him, Yeah.
So we have Letitia on the line. Letitia, what's your question or comment? Letitia?
Yes.
What's your question or comment?
Hi, my name is Letitia. This is Shadon and the other gentleman there. As an entrepreneur myself, how did you overcome your fear? I know many a times people want to start their businesses, but they have the fear and don't have the courage to just step out on faith or to give it a try. So what was that one factor just to allow you to overcome your fear?
Okay, wonderful, great question. So she basically just wants to know, what steps did you take to overcome your fears?
First of all, hey boo, because that's my peoples.
She listening in.
Yes, I
Thanks for
love
your
y'all. I
love.
love y'all for free, y'all know. For me, it really just took me sitting in my quiet place, and I talk about this all the time on Facebook, and you just have to sit in your truth. Self-discovery first, because this entrepreneurial game is no joke. It is a 24/7 battle, and somebody's not always going to have your back. So you have to be in a mindset that you're ready to have your own back, that you're ready to take on these obstacles with support, but sometimes without support. And so it took for me to sit in my quiet place and do some self-discovery and understand my worth and my truth and my greatness. And from that, I was able to be comfortable enough to step out on faith and say, I am what God made me to be, therefore I am great, therefore I will succeed. But you gotta sit for me, you just gotta sit in your quiet place and you gotta listen, because it's not for everybody, and there's no shame in that either.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think more than anything too, it's more than just going out on, stepping out on faith. The thing for me was I had to realize that it may just be me and God. That's it. You know what I mean? And am I gonna be okay with that? So I began to realize that once you step out on faith on a lot of things, and you start, a lot of people say, well, wait on God to give you signs and things like that. But sometimes God's waiting on us. You know what I mean? So you make that, make that effort, and you start moving in that direction, and God opens up things for you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, just with me personally, I can't really fathom or sit there and tell you how I was able to, make ends meet or create these businesses with the amount of money I was making when I was working for somebody. But it was coming. You know what I mean? Like, I would take 20 and I would flip it to 40. I'm just flipping. I'm constantly flipping. Like, my online, the online magazine, I think I started that magazine with $30. You know what I mean? I took that 30, you know, I put it in something else. I'm just constantly flipping. You know, I'm using, I think also, you know, during the time I was working for somebody, I was taking that money that, you know, I was putting aside, like, you know, money and putting it into my own. You know what I mean? So I was working for somebody, but at the same time, I was
working for
playing,
yourself.
yeah, I was putting it in my own. You know what I'm saying? And doing that, I also had to realize, okay, some things that, you know, you're gonna have to sacrifice. So, you know, if it, you know, I sat down, started looking at things, I'm like, okay, I don't need cable.
Friday.
Right, I don't need cable, I don't need to go out, I don't need that, or whatever. When you're serious about your passion, your dream, I don't care who calls you and tells you, hey Jay, I haven't seen you in a minute, or once you come through, come out, or whatever, you not, because you just like, this, you eat and breathe this, you know what I mean? And that's what, and I mean, it's a constant grind, it's a constant flip. Like, I just, you know, it's really, where are you willing to sacrifice? You know what I mean? And a lot of people are not willing to just say, okay, let me sacrifice, you know, buying, you know, sneakers. I love clothes and, you know, and stuff there, but, you know, I had to fall back and be like, okay, I can't do that. Or, you know, people, you know, like social, like going out or whatever. You start, if you really sit down and just look at, you know, your life and your bills and what you really spend money on, you can find what you can take and start, you know, and invest in yourself. And that's the biggest thing, invest in yourself. College is very important, but more than that is just, I constantly read up on stuff. I'm constantly learning new things and new ways how to make money. You know, like the biggest thing I've been on is like Bitcoin and just, you know, cryptocurrency and things like that. I've been, you know, getting, you know, working on that, reading up on that stuff. You know, I know a lot of people in the real estate. I'm constantly just, you know, moving my money, you know what I'm saying, just trying to figure out ways how, you know, how to heighten it, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, elevate it or whatnot, so, yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the callers for calling in, but most importantly, I want to thank our guests for being here and shedding a little more light on what it is to be an entrepreneur, what it is to pursue your own dreams, what it is to create your own narrative. These are all the things that we talk about week to week, and it's so important that we realize that one of the most important factors of being successful is gaining support. Having the marketing and advertising behind you, and that marketing and advertising comes by word of mouth. We are a community that needs to feed our own community. If you can go and patronize the hair salon down on the corner every week with your $40 or $50 just to get something done that very few people are gonna notice. I'm just saying. We'll notice when it's not done, but when it is done, we're like, whatever. We saw you last week, but
Getting messed up anyway.
Stay done.
It's about to get messed up anyway.
Right, about to get messed up anyway. But the truth of the matter is, we need to start realizing that the dollars that we recycle need to be recycled in our own neighborhoods. And both of our entrepreneurs have echoed each other tonight in saying the fact that one of the greatest support systems that they need is us. So let's go on Yelp. Let's go on those Facebook pages. Let's hit those pages. And if they don't have one or already have a review, guess what? Start one. It's not that hard. If you want to create a Yelp review, if you want to create your own, you know, positive message about this business, get it out there. Get it out there. But I also encourage you to patronize, find out more, and visit their website, and consider using Black businesses first before you do anything else. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with our individual segments. So we're going to find out what's on Joy's list, what's in Dap's world, and what's going on with all these autumn leaves that are falling in just a minute. But until we do that, stay woke. I want to thank y'all so much. I don't even know what he's playing no more. Yeah, what's the music? Oh, Tank. You better work it, girl. You better work it. Oh, see, it's that Aquarius thing. You know it already. You should have known.
I know. I feel it.
That's probably cleaning my house right now, keeping my plants alive. Oh, I see the music. The music. Damn, they're doing some
You know that they're talking about making a,
They gonna redo good.
Yes, I don't know, but I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Yes.
My favorite character was the White House.
The dentist or
Desi Moore or
The dentist.
I can't think of the name.
Why can't I say his name?
He was into Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
And his sadistic stuff trying to be in pain.
Thank you all for coming through, man.
Thank you for having us.
This is really good.
Dope.
Yeah. It's not over yet.
Now, this segment.
First of all,
with each other though.
I have nothing to do with this segment.
you're not judging. I'm not even prepared.
I love myself. I love your list. Because I'm over there all by myself. I got them to spread out. I'm waiting on my toes. I'm waiting on my
They don't go to YouTube, they go to my page.
Yeah,
You can see everything that's going on.
Foreground, background, everything. So we need refreshments in our drink.
Hey, I do.
Over there. What's up with water?
You said, what's up with that? You said your man.
And then, like,
Right.
I've been having to go in there and help in there since I've been on the board.
She's a part-time engineer.
Take blocks. I get my little engineer on. They was being ghetto. So I was like, y'all thought that it was cutting me off, joining me to cut each other. I'm
We were
like,
having a conversation. She wants to speak.
I'm coming back to my segment.
You know, segment.
I guess
You always take pictures.
again, I don't know if y'all saw my shoe.
Oh, see?
I can see my shoe.
Them purple bottoms.
It's dope.
Oh, yeah, I got to invite
Favorite
everybody to the
color,
party.
favorite color.
What part?
So I'm gonna
Let's do a giveaway. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy me a little.
However y'all want to approach it, but I'm gonna give away. We're re-releasing our Her Story shirt. So.
Whatever it is, it's not gonna top my taco meat, but it's cool.
You know, that taco.
So
I'm just saying. It's all
Can you tell me what a taco meat is?
Not everybody knows what taco meat
Please
is.
don't.
I mean, I'm not in a position today to do the taco meat demonstration, but y'all.
The taco meat demonstration. You don't need that.
You need to go to my YouTube page.
We don't need that.
We had a whole
When we come back.
I want all the ladies who love the taco meat. That taco meat show was the best show we done had. That taco meat.
No,
It was really
it was not.
That was a great show. It was funny. It was engaging. We did. We got the listeners. We have more people coming on because of that taco meat. The ladies love the taco meat. I'm telling you. So go on and look at the face. I mean, at the YouTube. So you can find out what that taco meat is. But I appreciate all of y'all.
Outside, y'all. I'm sorry, we're on the air. We're doing that.
But this is one of the print shirt.
Yes, show them the facts, girl. Tell them the facts.
So,
We are all about the facts.
and I have my addictive melanin shirt. I don't know what I did with my daggone shirt. I bought another shirt because I knew she was coming. I ain't want to wear this because I'm
My
going
wife
to
would not work out in that
So,
shirt.
I have to find
She would not work out in that shirt. I'm like, baby, it's a workout shirt. I bought it.
stop for a minute.
It's multifaceted, okay? She uses it in whatever way she so desires. Hey, y'all.
You look good.
So I'm gonna do a giveaway of my Her Story shirt. So what do you think? They should have to call in. What? Tell me. Tell me. What do you guys want them to have to do to win this shirt? The re-release of our Her Story, because Her Story matters. her story was the necessary
They had to say, they had not say, what's good, not gonna be good. I'm gonna say what it is.
Let's keep it simple.
It's not gonna be in the her story.
What's the question? They can
So what's the giveaway?
To get her to give away a shirt.
Giveaway.
They need to answer a question. What's the question?
When did your company start? What year?
Well, you didn't say what year.
Tricky one.
She said how long you been doing it.
I said how long I was doing it, and when I started,
So, okay, yeah, how many years?
That's right.
Where's your business headquarters?
So she said your basement, but that don't count. They can't say that.
They have to say when it started. Or how long it's been around. How long it's been around.
No, tell me what she stands for.
I was gonna say, what is the good one?
What is she saying? What is she saying? What's
Yeah.
And then it was the H word,
Very quick.
herbalize.
Oh my God, you know what?
Critics.
Oh,
No.
Don't give it back either.
Give me your cup.
Compensate.
Hello.
Hey, this your girl at Joy Leah. Are you ready to find out what's going on this week? Are you ready to find out who is on my list? On my list.
Always a hater in the building. His name
I love you, Joy.
is Uncle Sean.
You are my joy.
To the fans. Yeah, I'm on.
You are my joy.
All right now, so I got my list, and you know it's very controversial.
Always.
For all you people, especially the new guests. So, the first thing that's on my list, we might as well get this out the way.
Get it out.
Now, the NBA has started. I'm so excited for LeBron and them. But I just want to know, are we going to boycott the NBA like how we did the NFL? I just want to know, keep me up to date. What we doing?
You know what?
Are we, the NBA is off limits because it's all black people, but like, are we kneeling? Are we going to kneel? Are we going to kneel for that too? I mean, just is LeBron kneeling?
At this moment, from my correspondence at the
Yes,
National Negro Headquarters of America, we will not be boycotting the NBA as of today. I have not gotten any reports. However, if anything does come about, then I will let you know, Joy.
Wait.
I'm backing out.
So us African Americans, even though I understand that NBA is the blackest sport of them all. Can't let me know if they know. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's not blacker than craps.
Look, no, I'm talking about sports.
That's a sport. What you talking about? Craps? That's a
Now
sport.
you said pool. I think we could be like, okay, but not enough black people got pool tables. But I'm just saying, like, come on now. I know this is the blackest sport. Wouldn't we be making like the biggest statement if we was like, we not watching this and not wearing jerseys and Michael Jordan, we not buying no Jordans.
It was crickets.
Okay, so this is what the issue
on
is.
YouTube.
This is what the issue is.
Thank
The
you.
reason why we are boycotting the NFL is because we had a player who felt it necessary to kneel and, not to stand during the national anthem in protest.
In protest of what?
Because
Be specific.
for Black Lives Matter, because people of color in America are endangered species right now, and they are being murdered without cause and without justice and without justification. So he took it upon himself to make a stand in the NFL, what's his name?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Colin
Kaepernick.
Right.
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick. So Kaepernick. And so what he did was he decided to protest. But he got so much backlash and he got fired and all of these things happened to him because he did that to raise awareness that Black Lives Matter, and no matter if you play any type of sport, if you're an artist, you're an actor, if you're a person of color, at any time, you can be killed for being black. But no, I'm answering your question. So because he did that and he was a part of the NFL, we have decided to not watch football. And we're protesting football because, but I'm answering your question though. This is why we are boycotting football. So now we're switching over to the NBA. So are we gonna have NBA players who are gonna take on that responsibilities to kneel, to sit, to not stand, to not come out during, the national anthem. And if they do that, then we'll follow suit.
How can we make a statement?
Well, my thing is it's based on we're basing on what the athlete does, and if they're taking a stand, then we have to show that we have their back, and we're gonna take a stand.
Oh, we showed Kaepernick. We got his back.
May I make a comment?
It's gonna keep on.
I know this is your segment. I just want to make a comment.
Go ahead. I got some minutes.
Okay, cool. So, all right, NBA, NFL, black people protest. You know what I'm saying? You know how I feel about that. I think there's been quite a few NBA players that have made statements and have done things in support of Colin Kaepernick, as well as in support of the Black Lives Matters movement, and in support of the actual families who have lost people.
Yeah.
So I don't think that necessarily they have to do anything. I mean, the kneeling during the national anthem was a symbol. Right, and it's only a symbol.
Right.
And the thing was the repercussions that Colin Kaepernick suffered because of that symbol.
Right.
They were outrageous and outlandish, and it's not fair. So yeah, we need to protest that, but I don't think that means that everyone has to kneel for the national anthem from here on out. They can if they want to, and that's cool. The whole thing is just it was really to build awareness.
Right.
Okay. And I think there are a lot of people that are out there, NBA players, celebrities, whoever, people in general. Are building awareness around this whole issue. And we can continue to do things, whatever those things may be. I mean, we can protest whatever kind of way we want to protest.
Right. That's
I don't,
I just was wondering if we was going to keep the party going, like I said. If we was going to keep, because, I see what's going on in the NFL. Are we going to keep doing this in the NBA? Is this something we're going to keep going like the Montgomery boycott until this change?
See, the kneel is not even necessary.
It's not.
Right.
The kneel is not. At the end of the day, that portion of America speaks in green.
Right.
So there's no need to kneel. The need is for you not to buy the ticket. The need is for you to not buy the jerseys.
There you go.
The need is for you to then redirect those funds back into your community.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the need is. And if you want them to do something different as it relates to on the field or on the court, it would be dope, I think, if we start to incorporate lift every voice and sing. Like, can we get that play next?
Can we get that play next, especially in the NBA?
Can we get that
the
play
Cleveland
next?
games
Not
and
during
the
the show,
Celtics where it's all black people for real?
Not during the show, Sean.
No, I was thinking about
Not
that
during
the other day though.
the-
Between me and you, could we? That would be a real statement.
That would
if
be a
somebody
real
be like,
statement.
let's play that.
You know what that would be? That would be a revelation to how many NBA players don't know lift every voice and sing. That's what that would be.
How many Americans?
Because what would really be dope is while they're playing the national anthem, all the black people start singing our national hymn. They wouldn't know what to do, but we don't know the
I know the
words.
words. I don't know about everybody.
We know the words.
So we're gonna keep it.
We need to get some African drums, some djembes out there.
Oh, you got.
You know what I'm saying?
Before you go any further with that one, and I'm not gonna take up too much of your time.
Now.
I'm gonna make a quick statement.
Quickly.
As you already know, I'm not crazy about protest. 381 days. Bus boycott is a perfect example. It took 381 days because it took that long before they impacted them financially.
Exactly.
And just as you have said, well, the movement now is to stop supporting completely. It's not a matter of standing or sitting or kneeling or crossing your hand. None of that. That's a symbol of what we should do. So what we need to do now is start pulling our money back from certain events, from certain things.
Right.
As I said, we made a concession with the football.
And you know, I do support Jay-Z people because if I see another black person singing the national anthem,
we don't need to endorse.
I mean, not to say it like that. Even the chick they showed the other week, she sung it and then at the end she kneeled. You know, thank God. Regardless of what you tried to do, but you shouldn't have took that money if you was trying to make a stance. If you really was trying to make a stance in some type of way,
That's right.
Cable
She
bill.
should have sang it. You should have just sold some crack.
Cable bill was due, and she wanted
should have just sold some crack.
like the girl over here. Every voice.
Right. Oh my God, they would have been mad.
Think about it, she was performing in the Barclay. If she was just started singing, you think Jay-Z was gonna fire her? No, he would have been like, "You wrong." But you tore that song up. But you right. You wrong, but you right. But you know, hopefully the next black girl that sing that can do that. Anyway, we're gonna keep it on moving because we got a couple more minutes, and I got only 2 more things on my list. The next thing on my list is my boy over here in the HBCU homecomings that just went on this past weekend. Shout out to all the schools. We got Howard, Hampton,
everybody,
Morehouse, Spelman, and my Omar, Clark Atlanta University, who had their homecoming the last weekend. Shouts out to y'all. Everything looked like it was popping. We was having a good time. Everybody was drinking and just, you know, enjoying the fact that they graduated and got a degree. I just want to say, I've never been to a place where there was so many black people, no fighting, no nothing. The most intelligent black people in the world, if you want to say. This was like Cairo back in the old days. This is like the most, this is like Mesopotamian time back in the BC days. This was the greatest among people that I've ever been around. The most prestigious black
That's
people.
because everybody that's black that they go to an HBCU, go to the AU, so they homecoming game. Everybody black in the
But you know what? I ain't mad at you. You show up and put your dashiki on or whatever you put on. Let's all perform together. Because, I mean, I had a wonderful time. So, shouts out to y'all. And the last thing on my list, and it's going to always be on my list.
No, but my thing
No, that was at the HBCU.
If you black and you went to college and you can't get to your homecoming, everybody black
to the closest homecoming. My homegirl just moved to D.C. She said she went to Howard. Right. She said, I found my friend. That's what you do. You know, you're going to eat with
everybody I know. Everybody I know was at everybody I know was at the AU.
Even if you went your own stuff,
Everybody was at the AU except for us Georgia State people. We was at the Georgia State.
y'all at Turner Field out.
No, we were at I don't know where we was. I don't know where it was. Our homecoming was this weekend, and we had the tailgate. I went to the tailgate last year, but I didn't go.
No, I heard y'all had Turner.
But I heard that
I spent so much time talking about Georgia State. They ain't no HBCU. You know what I'm saying?
He went to HBCU as well.
Tennessee State, baby. Big Blue. Go Big Blue. Yeah, that was last weekend. I ain't go.
It's more HBCUs because even though I Tennessee State, Clark had there. Yeah, I went to Georgia State, but I did go to at Norfolk State University.
Virginia.
I did.
Y'all, their homecoming is coming up this weekend, actually, because a friend of mine is going back to that. So, black schools, we gonna shout out for y'all. We just wanna thank God for y'all.
Yes.
But lastly, I saw your boy there too. Chef Duzier. He had a tent with
You need to turn their mics down. Are they yelling too much?
That's all I want.
No, and I heard that Spelman had a little private tent with the little blue carpet in there, and they had the little stuff. It was really cute because the girlfriend of mine was Spelman. They had the cute tent away from all the niggas.
See,
I
now
think Bill Cosby. I think Bill Cosby.
you know what I'm saying?
But
Go ahead.
that you were talking about Bill Cosby and Bill. But anyways, we're gonna keep it moving. And lastly on my list, and we just gonna bring it down, and I want everybody to get serious last because we going on. Your boy Trump is on my list. He's
It would not be a list if Trump wasn't there with his ignorance. I know. I need to quit giving him life. But anyway, you know what? I said I was gonna give him life this week, but he did try it when he told that lady that.
See, he would have got jabbed real
He
quick.
signed up.
Your husband knew what he was getting into.
He knew what he was signing up for. Like, look, I know what I sign up for all the time. You know what I'm saying? But if I go out there and get ran over by a car, trust and believe I didn't get signed up for that. He don't know how he said it. No, it was just how he said it. Like, trust and believe the man, he's in the army. Yes, he know what he signed up for. But he did not sign up for that, nor your
Right. The only thing that he needed to say was, my deepest sympathy or condolences.
Or nothing.
No, if you're gonna call, the only thing that if you don't have nothing else to say, just say, I just wanted to call and give my deepest sympathies, or I'm just calling to give condolences.
Or
that's it.
Or if you know a black person.
But let me tell you something else.
I'm praying for you.
Let me tell you something
The
else.
fact that you even start, that's just like somebody calling anybody saying, well, you knew you was wearing that outfit.
But my thing is,
you knew you was black.
Why?
Well, you know,
that he had her really prepared for her interview.
Right.
Her hair was beat, her makeup was beat, her outfit was beat. She had Regosaurus. You know, she made sure she had Regosaurus. You know, they made sure that she was completely together because you had to make sure that she was completely together when she went and interviewed, because it would have detracted from what the issue is. If her hair wouldn't have been right, if her makeup wouldn't have been right, if her outfit would not have been right, they would have started talking about that. So you better believe the senator, my sorority sister, made sure that she had her P's and Q's and all her dotted, the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and all of that to make sure that she was perfect to go and interview, because you know how they do us. And she was wonderful, she was articulate, and when they asked her if she had anything to say to Trump, she was like, no.
Right.
Well, is it us, or, I mean, is it them, or is it us?
It's us, because I would have cussed his ass out on
No,
the
when
mic
you said
real
you
quick.
know how they do
Jefferson style.
us, right? You said you know how they do us as it relates to our appearance, and I don't think it's them. I think it's us.
It's them.
We have been conditioned.
I'm ready.
We have been conditioned as a people. We are, but at the same token, we ready. How often do you hear us say, look, why do you always find the ghetto version of us? Listen, embrace it. There's a trailer park trash version of them. Are they offended by it? Not at all. Do they feel some type of way about it? Not at all. We have to embrace it.
But this is the thing.
They
Let me say this. We don't own the media. We don't own the media. We don't. And I want you to pay attention to the adjectives that they use when they're talking about black people on the radio. We don't own it. They are feeding us this information, and when you tell somebody something enough in their ear, they begin to believe it. But we don't own it.
No, but that's the question. I understand. No, but both of y'all answer my question some type of way, because I feel you. But the fact of the matter is,
he suck.
He do suck, but he made it. This was a condolence situation. This was a compassionate situation. This is a situation where you were supposed to
no matter what color you were, no matter what creed you were, no matter where you was from, somebody died in the army, in the...
No, it don't matter who died, somebody died.
You the main one mad about people not kneeling for our country or for whatever, and they gonna disrespect a soldier. And not because it's a black soldier, a pregnant woman who was, you know, just a black soldier. I mean, it's not even about that. It's the fact the man has no compassion. The man sits there and looks dumb as hell and does the dumbass shit that he does. And we allow it and continue to give him any type of praise. The whole boycott, everything that we're doing and all the stuff that we're doing, it's like, I don't understand why we even giving him the time.
That's our fault.
Right.
It is what we do.
Back to what she was saying.
Like, you know, what we just sat here and agreed on is that I'm grateful for him because what he did do is make you wake up.
And realize.
Wake up. If you don't do something for yourself,
in this point in time.
Yes, we deserve 40 acres and a mule. I'm not saying that we don't deserve reparations, but until that happens, if somebody, for me, if you're not gonna open the door for me, I'm gonna build the door and I'm gonna open it myself out the hole.
It's not even about them. I'm like so tired of hearing about what they doing and who they.
What are we doing? It's an excuse. It's our comfort zone to justify why we don't do right by one another. Because we have the opportunity. Here's our black radio program right now that we all could be listening to at this moment. You have black-owned business owners right here, right now that you could be supporting who are doing things in their community. So you have a full circle opportunity right here, and you are choosing to do something different. And this music is on his own. That's what I said.
That music, but she's right about every girl. You give me a phone number. I need a t-shirt of 5. You know what I'm saying? This girl is powerful over here.
Before we end your session, because you are well over there. But
I'm just mad.
The truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is this. As we've agreed on, I am very pleased. Initially, I was in anger, but you have to realize that sometimes. I mean, and this is what I said when I transitioned from one job to another. I told myself sometimes the universe does things in such a way that it's so ugly that you have no choice but to change and become better. So I think that this is America's pivotal point. That something so ugly is happening. We fought for how many years as a civilization against world domination, against something that would annihilate us as a race, and now we have the two world leaders that can destroy the entire earth. Are simple imbeciles, both of them. And I don't care if they monitor my show or whatever, but you're looking at Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here having little boy battles with each other.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, we've come to a head at this point. Now we're looking at the fact that now something so ugly has happened that we have to unify as a race. And it had to be this ugly because we were passive when Bill Clinton was putting so many people in prison. With the 3 strikes you're outlaw. We were passive when we lost so many jobs. Right, when we lost so many jobs still under Obama. We were passive when under all these other presidents. But now, because racism is so prevalent in America, because now we are a country divided, we realize that we have to unify. We realize that we have to make steps to move forward. And a simple protest, the taking of a knee, that didn't work in the 60s. And we realized that America is not black and white. America is not black, brown, and white. Black, brown, yellow, and white. It's green. And the only thing that affects the men at the top is when you stop putting all these side issues aside. I mean, and bring them to the forefront. Because I could care less about a lot of these issues. But the truth of the matter is, they want you to care about them. I'm wrapping it up. But they want you to care about these little issues. They want you to care about Black China, and they want you to care about what's going on in love and hip hop because it distracts you from the true narrative. Cut off Autumn's mic. But the truth of the matter is, we have to be focused enough to realize that now is the time to make our dollars collective. Now is the time to pull back from these major Fortune 500 companies and make them Fortune 100 companies.
It's not just
Fortune zero.
It's not just dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's other things we have to
Dollars
think
and
about too.
cents.
You know what I mean? We have to our focus, our thoughts, our attention, our energy. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to protect our minds. We have to protect our energy.
We're gonna wrap it up and we'll be right back with that.
Really?
Ever since she got the engineering job, she did.
You remember what was it? Dave Chappelle when they was like another, very important conversation, or what I would say what bothers me, I guess, is that when I think about celebrities, right,
And the platform.
in their platforms, and they will post about their red bottoms, and they will post about their Gucci, not distractions, but they will and talk about their Louis Vuitton bags and they have to pay. They are paying to advertise for these brands. But there's local small businesses in their community. And they have the opportunity. They have the opportunity and they will do it for $1 amount. And I'm not saying don't get that money. That's not what I'm saying. Because I totally respect the importance of getting that money.
I don't sometimes when it comes to certain
No, because money makes the world go round, baby. So I do respect getting that money. What I'm saying is you don't have to break the bank. Like, if every celebrity, think about how often you hear about red bottoms, Louis Vuitton bags, or Chanel, or whatever it is, right? So, but why can't you do that? You have to do that and nobody else has to. What do you mean have to?
They have no fight the way we have a fight. No, other cultures don't have to fight.
No,
they don't have nothing to say.
and them other people's celebrities don't have to.
They don't have, listen, to do they was just talking about not too many weeks ago that they was kicking them all out. You ain't heard about that shit. They don't care. I'm telling you, they don't have nothing that they have.
No, here's the bigger picture. No, we
because the thing is, even though we do spend most money, we are blessed. It's not just about okay, even if we decided to not buy things, what we not gonna do because that's what we're not gonna just start spending money. Here's what we decide to put our money into is gonna be the issue. Because what we did, it's already spending the most money out of it.
Supermarkets collectively, women spend more money than period. So that's not true. The period.
Women are like the consumers.
They do not target. That's a difference, and that's the problem. They don't target them. We actually intentionally go sit with the people who don't target. They do.
Ebony are no longer owned by people because they could not get the advertisers to advertise in those magazines, which either they target most money out of
Black women, but if magazines did not survive because they did not get advertisement, that tells you that they were.
With 4 dynamic hosts who will bring you topics worth staying up for. So we just ask you to stay woke.
Good evening.
Hey, this your girl.
Hey, that was different. Good evening, everybody. I want to just thank you for once again joining Uncle Sean and the Conscious Party this week as we venture down some more roads of entrepreneurship and enlightenment. You got me? Okay. Tonight we are honored to have two separate guests, both in the field of entertainment, arts and entertainment. Let's put it that way. And what we want to talk about, or how we want to start tonight's show off, is the fact that if you Hey,
Turn up.
turn up.
Turn up.
Well, let me just go around the table first and let y'all know who's here. Because from the background, you already hear it's Dap's World tonight. Dap, say something to us.
Yo, what's up, world? This is Dap Paxton in the house. I know I wasn't here last week. I really missed y'all, but we had to do some celebrating because it was my third wedding anniversary. 3 years turned up. And to celebrate, we just brought some wine. I brought the good stuff. So that was the cork popping in the background, if you heard that. Glad to be back.
I told you it's Dap's World. So if y'all want to say something to Dap or hit him up on Instagram, your IG?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can follow me. On Instagram, you can follow me at Dap's World, and on Facebook, Dap Paxton.
All right. And the lovely Miss Autumn Monroe.
How y'all doing? It's your girl, Autumn Monroe. That's on Facebook and Instagram. It's MISSAUTUMNMONROE. And on Twitter is Autumn Monroe. AUTUMNMONROE. Oh, and she got a Snapchat page.
Oh.
I know, right? It's the Autumn Monroe. THEAUTUMNMONROE. Yay! And look who just got here. Joy Leah.
Joy, give us a shout out in social
At
media.
Joy Leah on Instagram, on Snapchat, and on Facebook. Holla at your girl.
Oh no, wait a minute, that was her tagline.
I just walked in the door.
So, I know. But anyway, and as I said, we are joined tonight by two dynamic artists. We're gonna get into each individual interview, but I want them first to start off just by letting you know who they are and what their social media are. And then we'll come back, wrap around, and find out more about their individual businesses. Ladies first.
Hey y'all, this is Sherdon, CEO of She Prints It, and you can follow us on Instagram at sheprints.it and on Facebook and Twitter at She Prints It. That simple.
I love the way she said that. That was CEO, not the CEO, the CEO. Women take over. Go ahead, Javaris.
How you doing? This is Javaris Franklin. I'm the CEO of Visionary Artistry. My Instagram is Visionary Artistry LLC, and then we have a nonprofit organization, which is VA Foundation. That's also on Instagram as well.
Wonderful. Well, once again, I want to thank you both for joining us this evening. You're about to see some silly antics because this, although we are conscious, not everybody is stable at the same time. But we're going to jump right into it because we have a CEO and a HEEO right here at the table. And and I consider them both to be heroes simply because you are entrepreneurs in a time that it is definitely a time that we have to stretch out and prove ourselves and do more based on our own knowledge of self, what we can do for each other, and creating more businesses that come not only from our communities but support our communities as well. So starting with She Prints It, I'm going to hand over the mic, and I just want to know, first of all, how long you've been in business. What's your business target?
I'm not saying we can't. You know what I'm saying? But we have, I'm not saying that we can't. I'm saying we have to realize what that looks like for us, though. You know what I'm saying? We think that's just messing in the car right now. So I want to
You just entered the atmosphere of Dap's World. Welcome. Buckle your seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
This your girl.
Yo, can I get my segment?
Yeah. All right, what's happening, y'all? This is Dap's World. This is Dap's World. We live and in effect, man. We've had like a really good conversation.
Oh my goodness.
during this break. And it's actually interesting because it ties into my segment, what I had planned to talk about. So I don't know if could y'all hear me that whole time? Because I've been talking. Hopefully not. So, well, we'll just rewind it then. Can I get my music back? No, I'm just kidding. That's my hype music, man.
Let's go with it.
All right, so listen up. This is Daps World. You can follow me on IG at Daps World or on Facebook at Dap Paxton. I definitely would like for y'all to call in on this segment. We had a pretty heated debate going on during the break, and I was saying it's interesting because it has a lot to do with what my segment was about. And most times, if y'all have been listening for a while, then my segment is all about, some heightened, conscious type of, spiritual, vibratory type of shit. Tonight, though, we got some really dope artists and entrepreneurs in the house. And there's something that's been on my mind for a little minute now that I kind of want to see what people think. And I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. It's creativity versus consumption. We're living in a time period now, and we talked about this, where black people are the greatest consumer of goods and services in America. We talk about Black America right now. So we talk about the original people spending way more money than any other group of people in this country right now, and yet we're still the most oppressed group of people here. And so we have to ask ourselves then, what type of responsibility do we have with our dollars, but not just with our dollars, because that's only going halfway. But what's our responsibility with the greatest, the wealthiest resource that we have? And that's our creativity, folks. I don't know if you realize that, but we all have creativity that's built within us. We were born with it. And we have things that we've been put on this planet to do and bring to other people as an inspiration, as a source of forward movement even. So, creativity versus consumption. I personally believe that there's something fulfilling about creating. I personally believe that creating builds worlds. I personally believe that it's our responsibility to create, especially right now, to create our narrative for the future. Instead of focusing on what's been going on in the past, although we need the past. I personally think that consumption keeps us in a perpetual state of neediness. That consumption also keeps us in a state of, what did I write down here? I wrote down a good word. What did I say? Yes. No, it's not big. It's just a good one. But inadequacy, feelings of inadequacy. Now, I think, there's some health to consumption. I mean, we need shit, right? We need goods. We need food. We need clothes. We need to be able to take care of our kids. We want to travel and have different experiences. These are things that are natural. These are things that we want to do, right? So, I mean, consumption is good. But when it gets out of control, when we get to a point where we are abusing our own selves because we just gotta have. And while I spend $1,000 on an iPhone, my Android is cool. You know what I'm saying? And I still, I'm still having problems, paying my rent, or buying food for my kids. Or even maybe it's not even that extreme. Maybe you got it like that and you can buy it, but there might be a black-owned company, right, that's producing some other product that you can put that $1,000 into, or maybe even a business that you can invest in and flip that money, and then you can buy 5 iPhones, by the end of it all. But so this is, what type of responsibility are we taking when we choose consumption, irresponsible consumption, over creativity? And since we have these two beautiful folks in here, I just want to hear what y'all think about those things.
Boy.
Welcome to Daps World.
Listen, you spoke to my spirit here. So I think that, I think we may respectfully agree to disagree, considering that you're an artist, right? But I think that the consumption is a little bit more important. And here's why. It's because it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right? So if you're already accustomed to being a consumer, it's easier for me to just try to read, not easier, is used loosely, because if it was easy, we would do better, right?
Right.
But I would prefer trying to redirect your dollar, because at the end of the day, we're still living in a society that is functioned and focused around the dollar. So we need to first, if you are by nature a consumer, or you have adopted the behavior of consumer, because I do think by nature we are creative, but you have adopted the behavior of being a consumer. We first need to learn how to consume in our communities. In other words, you can create all that you want to create, but if ain't nobody buying it, what difference does it make? It's nice for the house. You can show your kids. It's something you can pass down, but it ain't changing nothing. So I need, in my opinion, we first need to figure out how to consume in our own communities, how to spend the money with people who look like us that are going to give back to us, and that makes you feel comfortable. Right? I feel safe in my community. I feel safe shopping, even if I'm in a store that's not owned by a black person. It sounds racist, but it's a comfort level, because white people do it too. If I see a salesperson that's white and I see a salesperson that's black, I'm gonna gravitate to the black sales rep. Right. So I don't understand how we do that as a majority in white-owned businesses, but somehow that doesn't seem to translate to where we move our larger dollar.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that it doesn't translate. I think it's not there. Because where I live in Gwinnett. It's a super mega condo. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. A super mac. You know the grocery store. The Mexican super. Yeah. You know, right.
I love you,
And I go there. I go there on a regular to get. I know they got all the vegetables I need.
Right.
I know they got all the seasonings I need, and maybe some pork, some certain meats. I'm sorry. Look, but I'm not on here. We ain't on here talking about that. But they got the things that I need at the supermarket condo, whatever it's called. But I don't think it has anything to do. But you know what I'm talking about. Market condo. I see it and I can't pronounce it. But I know it's the Mexican grocery store. I don't think I look at it like I'm going in there. When I go in there, trust me, at first they look at me and then I be like, shouting, every day shouting. Like, you know, I let them know real quick. But I think the fact that it's there, and it's across the street.
It's a convenience store.
It's right there.
Which again is the Okie doke. It's the same Okie doke. I mean, it's the same reason why we go
If I had that African store right there, I think I would stop. No, I would not patronize. Right. It's not there.
And that's what there because we don't patronize. No. That's why it's not there. The money's not there.
Okay, so we're gonna let I know it's but it's not by that supermarket.
It's more of dealing with the education process too, like we were talking about.
Right, it's an education process.
HBCUs, right? When I was in college.
What college was that?
Tuskegee University.
Tuskegee.
HBCU.
Yes. College teaches you, they give you, the skills to go out and work for somebody. That's any college.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But we don't educate and talk about entrepreneurship and things like that.
Right.
But let's just talk about, like that community that you went to.
The local stores in Tuskegee.
The Mexican stores, things like that. I seldom, frequently drive down Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Anytime you drive down Jimmy Carter, you can see, where the Mexicans are.
Right.
The Chinese people.
But the thing is, like when you're driving, you have like a blind eye to it, but you have to really think about what makes a community. You're gonna have a grocery store. Yeah. You're gonna have a bank. You're gonna have a medical. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. All those things create a community, and they're all ran by one race.
Yeah.
We're the only race that doesn't have that.
That's right.
It's about educating, because see, the thing is, we have all these you know, people that, I have.
It's deprogramming.
Yeah, black people that, I have a doctorate, I have this, I have that, or whatever the case may be, but you work for somebody.
Exactly.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
don't think it's
You made it-
education, we need to deprogram.
It is an education, because the thing is, if you're educating and you realize, okay, let me go ahead and get this degree, but then take it back to my community and show my community how to.
Billionaires don't have degrees.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
You made it, yeah.
The majority of billionaires and your millionaires are dropouts.
Let me tell you something, regardless of all that, I think, you remember back in
They're
the
also
day,
white
when it used to be that little highway that black people
Right.
rode and they knew the places to stop to, that was all black.
Right.
I think it needed to be a book that
We have
says,
one.
in your community, no, I needed to be a black community book. In your community, these are the black
We have that.
businesses.
Yeah,
In your community, no.
to say that,
across the world.
to speak to that, we have several things like that nowadays. I mean, it's like WeBuyBlack.com, and there's several websites.
I follow them,
And,
but
and
it's
so
not
we
the
have
same.
what is getting there. And here's the other thing I want to say
gotta
something
make it
to Javar's. We're really the only group of people
That
don't have a real true community.
Right.
You know, we can't really say we have a neighborhood because there's no, we don't have neighborhood. We don't have an area of town where black people own the businesses that they live in and run the schools and, like the whole thing. You go to,
I just
what
want
is
to
that, like
my
Briarcliff? That Briarcliff area? And you see all the temples, and you see, all these restaurants, and it's pretty much run by.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but let me just say this too. So you were talking about creativity.
Yeah.
There are artists that are very creative. All artists are pretty much all creative or whatever, but also are business savvy as well.
Yes.
Personally, is Maya Belli. Maya Belli is creating something down in Peter Street now that I think is remarkable. That he's creating something for small businesses. You know what I mean? But I think we create all this stuff, but we're not educated on how to patent it. Or how to take that step. Then you have somebody else that comes along and say, you know what, that's a great idea. And somebody that created, a
I live in the West End. We have banks. We have
Y'all do over
the
there.
grocery store.
Y'all
We
got
have
y'all
a lot of
stores.
black-owned businesses. We have all of that. But
No,
the
they do it.
the issue is with that. We have our schools. We have KIP. We have organizations who are advocating for us to keep our homes because there are a lot.
Y'all really black over
There's
there.
a lot of gentrification going on. Not for long. It's a lot of gentrification going on in the West End. But that's one true community. However, it's people who are taking over. I'm really disgusted at a particular bank who, instead of telling these people to keep your home, they're telling them you need to come to our workshop so we can tell you the best thing to do when they come to buy your house. You don't want to tell them. The West End is a true community, and they have been. I've been in Atlanta for 25 years. I've been in Atlanta for 25 years. And because of that belt line, they're trying to take over. It's a lot of gentrification going over there. It's a true community. However, we need to make sure that we are keeping our businesses, that we are not listening to the mainstream and doing the things that we need to do, to make sure that we keep this community, because it is a community.
So it's a couple of things I want to say to that, because I grew up in the West End, that's like I went to church in Bush Mountain. I know that area very, very well. Some of my most transformative experiences took place right there. It's the only place in the city that you can.
We don't need to know.
No, but it is a great area.
That's the only place that I've ever been to that I can have a conversation with a Hebrew Israelite, like walk down the street, get up, Nation of Islam, and have a conversation with them, walk down the street, have a conversation with the Catholics. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all black right there. Now, the one thing about the West End, and this is what makes it not a black community. I love the West End. It has my heart forever. Thing about the West End, other people own those buildings in that real estate.
And
all those commercial properties are owned by Arabs, by Caucasians, by other groups of people. So we have businesses over there, businesses that have been there for decades. But we've been leasing space.
No, but and they don't even have certain spaces that they
Because we're limited in access.
No, even
Well,
even go to DeKalb Mall.
It is. There are things that we don't know.
There's certain stores that's not open.
There are things that we don't know, about this game, right? Especially when it comes to real estate. But here's the thing: we are now at a point. We are now at a point in time where we can change that narrative.
Right, and that's
We
what
have
this is the perfect
access to the education. And when I talk about creativity, I'm not just talking about the arts. I'm talking about building businesses, building organizations, nonprofits, these things that keep the black community sustainable, right? Those are the things I'm talking about too. Creating something that's going to leave a legacy. So those are the things I'm talking about when I'm talking about creativity versus consumption. We can consume all day long, but we also need to be building something. And it doesn't just have to be a piece of art or something like that.
I just think we gotta pay for it in order to build it.
No doubt about it. And we have access to information. So I think the first thing we have to do is really to realize that we are not victims. We have access to the information we need to learn what we need to learn to build the things that we really know that we sit here to build. So, I don't know if anybody else want to chime in out there, the listeners, but please do. They're telling me to wrap up 688 over my time. But you can hit me up at Daps World on Instagram, Daps on Facebook. You can call in and holler at us. The concert party. Stay woke.
We have less than 10 minutes to this.
I'm gonna talk briefly. Not gonna be brief. I was like,
Jumping there,
You're talking on your own time.
sometimes I love these breaks and sessions because,
Is this the most active night?
yeah,
Right, and then the autumn, and when we come back,
I'm for like 5 minutes.
And do you have an outro or you can say the same thing to you,
Y'all ain't ready.
Yeah, we gotta learn how to do that. At the end of the day, that's where the answer is.
You know what,
I think that we all want to be an entrepreneur and listen. This every game is real, right? Like I know you know. Like this entrepreneur thing, this is not for the faint of heart. We have to stop. I know everybody. First of all, everybody, if everybody over the business, who's gonna work for us? I'm Joe. Okay. And secondly, as you know, I attended HBCU too, and I'm just like, what I felt like wasn't there on the career fair side is that why are we not bringing black businesses in so that we can and we have some because what was right there, Johnson & Johnson.
No, Johnson & Johnson was, trust me, they was a big sponsor at one point at the
Right, but they wasn't at no career fair.
No, but
they weren't creating
gambling was big.
When I was there,
any opportunity. But that's not what we do.
I was gonna go
They
straight
tell
there.
them you're gonna finish this MBA program so that you can go work for this large corporate white-owned business. At no point are we trying to convince and create an environment, even at the HBCU.
And clap their hands. Preach your entrepreneurship. I'm just
Even
telling
if they
you.
preach your entrepreneurship, at the end of the day, my class was 21-1, men to women. I mean, women to men, okay? All of us wasn't gonna be an entrepreneur.
A lot of us were.
Not. Yeah, all of us. No, that's true. Okay, a lot of us who were not going to cut the mustard. We had career fairs. They did not include, in my opinion, if you're going to be an HBCU, which is okay, it's privately funded, right? Because there's very few government funding that you receive, that means that you should be able to operate.
This your girl Autumn Rain, and it's time for Autumn Leave. Leaves are reminders falling down, so sit back, relax, and get ready to get started.
I mean, you gotta tell me when the lip gloss ain't cute. Okay? I'm gonna tell you something with this. But anyway, I know I'm not. I'm talking to my people. They don't need my stuff got to be right. So anyway, so you know what we're talking about? We're talking about we've been talking about a lot of stuff. But my thing is, you know, Javaris mentioned something very profound. It's like we want to do things, but what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? You know, we sit up here and, you know, artists are 9 out of 10 times we broke. Artists are like freshmen in college. When you're a freshman in college, you ain't got no money. You got to eat bologna and some oozes and noodles, and you work out, but you ain't got no money. So you make sure that, you work out to make sure you have your books and the things that you need when you're a freshman in college, so you can survive. You know, to get through, because you're working towards your degree, so you make sure that you have everything that you need, especially at HBCU. And I say that to say, when you're an artist, you know, you need to sacrifice no matter how old you are. You know, I'm an artist, and people ask me, why do I spend so much on Xfinity? I spend so much on Xfinity because I'm an artist, I don't want to have to wait, I'm not trying to do no buffering, I don't want to do all that. I want a DVR, and one, it's a tax write-off for me. Because I'm an artist, and yeah, cable is a tax write-off for me. But what are you willing to sacrifice? I don't shop. I like Javaris, I don't go out. I'm not doing those kind of things because my money is for classes. My money is for my artistry. You know, I know that I need new headshots. I found a company that will help me to create a reel, something that's going to look wonderful and be marketable, because now you can't just have the photo, you know, you have to have something, you have to have a video. You really need a video, especially if they don't know you. So, you know, I'm working on that, but the things that I need to do to get where I'm trying to go cost money. A friend of mine is a producer and a musician, wonderful musician. And he called me on yesterday and was like, oh my God, I have a audition for a television show, and he's not an actor, he's a musician. But they saw his photo, they needed a musician for this particular TV show, and he's not an artist. So I'm giving him the side eye the whole time that we're running his line. And, you know, he says to me, you know, I really have to respect you as an actor. I did not know. Because people think that it's easy. People think you can just do, oh, I can go out there for 10 minutes and
no, you can't.
It's a lot of art. It's an art, and it's a lot of work, and we're just like doctors, as in you need to continually to be trained. Right. So I'm like, well, if you're going to be doing this, you need to get in somebody's class. So we worked over and over and over again to make sure that he was prepared for today. He did not know that, you know, he needed to take a headshot. He did not know that he needed to take a resume. He did not know not to read the directions, the stage directions. He didn't know that. And it's always surprising to me that they tell people that, only read the lines, don't read the direction. And he was like, oh, I kept reading that. But he's not an actor, so how would he not know to do that? So we were working on, he was like, well, how am I supposed to sound? I'm like, it's not about how you sound. I need you to be in the moment. You need to be in the moment. He kept going, oh man, my bad, can I start over? I'm like, so I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you if you go in there tomorrow. And the casting director that he was going before is a personal friend of mine. So yeah, don't do that. Don't walk in there that way. I know this person, and this is what you need to do. Because he did not know. He didn't know he's a musician. So I say all of that to say that you may not be in a position where somebody sees your photograph or sees your talent, and because you have a certain look and you have a certain skill, that they're gonna hire you. You don't have that. So what you need to do is sacrifice. I need you to stop shopping. I have a cure. I don't buy coffee. I don't buy coffee anymore. I'm sacrificing because I know that these are the things that I need to do to get where I'm trying to go. So just make sure that you're sacrificing, that you're doing everything that you can do to make sure that your instrument is prepared. This is your girl, Autumn Monroe, and I have some reason knowledge. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that's not even just with acting. It's with anything that you're trying to do. Sacrifice to get what you want. So you can get out the play. This is your girl, Autumn Monroe. You can see me on Facebook and Instagram and my SFC. And on Twitter at AUTUMNMRE. And now on Snapchat at the Autumn Monroe. THEATMRE. This is your girl, Autumn Monroe. Holla at your girl. And we're going to give it a good show. Are you teaching that sexy?
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at the Conscious Party. This is Uncle Sean, and I just want to welcome everyone once again. At the end of the show, I want to welcome you to an eye-opening experience, because this has been one great evening for me, and I hope it has been for you as well. Overall, it never fails, regardless of what we talk about. It all wraps itself up into one message, and it's all about supporting one another. It's all about branding, marketing, learning to be cohesive and knowing what your next steps are. So we want to thank our guests for coming and sharing their knowledge and shedding that light on our direction. But at the same time, it's so much more important that we turn around and we respect what they have created, and we go out and we advertise, or we market and advertise for them as well. So take a moment and go out and find out more about our guests this evening. Again, we're looping this on YouTube, Instagram, so check us out repeatedly. We have websites running for every person, and it's so important that you all just do me a favor and stay woke. Stay woke. This is Uncle Sean and the Conscious Party. We'll see you next week. Peace.
IBNX Radio.
Hey, Catherine. Some of y'all. Hey, Wanda. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I'm going to take a picture. It's picture time, y'all. Love y'all.
I'm done with you drunkards.
Stay away.